All right, and welcome to the Incredible Hoax Patriotic Edition, Summer 2015. Maybe this one will come out on July 4th with all that shenanigans going on. I'm Chris.
I'm Mark.
And we are here with another movie topic. What is our movie topic of the day?
This should be a fun one. We're going to be discussing. We're going to name popular film franchises that underwhelmed us. Movies that we just didn't personally
grab you, didn't
or
feel
see
it.
the appeal.
Right. Well, I'll let you start that one. I could give you a bunch. I think I could probably give you as much on this as any topic ever.
You want me to lead off? All right, I'll lead off.
We actually talked about this one a little bit before.
Going back to the 80s, Highlander, and that whole franchise. The first one comes out, and it was like, eh. And then people it became like a TV series that people went ape for and did well in the syndication. I just never got into it. I was like, why are we...
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, he's immortal, but it had all these kind of clunky rules, and then basically at the end of the show, you still had to cut somebody's head off to like...
That's how you killed them, right?
Yeah, that's how you killed them, and then you acquired like their knowledge.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, I just didn't get a whole lot out of it. I just thought it was kind of silly. To me, that was kind of a modern fairy tale that just didn't gel for me.
I don't know if it helps prove your point, but I never watched the Highlander movies. Totally missed out on them. To me, the 80s had a few franchises that were kind of like overblown B movies. Like James Bond got, for instance, the Timothy Dalton James Bonds, to me, looked very B movie like. They didn't have that really expensive, classic, crisp look. They look like a big B movie. So I never watched any of those Timothy Dalton 80s Bond movies either. And the point in saying that Highlander always had that feel to me when I would see the commercials and previews and stuff. It looked like a big B movie that Sean Connery got roped into being in, and that's...
Well, and at that point, people forget, at that point in his career, he wasn't, as big as he was in the 60s and 70s.
Low point.
He was really a low point. It was the
Untouchables kind of brought him back out.
that brought him back. But the first Highlander he did before that, I think it came out in 84, I think.
I have no idea.
Anyway.
The mid-80s thing is all I remember.
Mid-80s. And it was basically, like you said, it was a glorified B movie. Russell Mulcahy was an MTV director, and he directed that film.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, guys, it had some style, but it's that 80s kind of style. But there's not a whole lot to it.
Right.
I mean, it should have been just a one-off movie and left it alone. But no, it became a whole series out of it. It's like the Iron Eagle movies. They had like 3 sequels for like really? One Iron Eagle is all you needed.
I love how Family Guy has made fun of Iron Eagle, that Brian keeps writing those books that he doesn't realize are the Iron Eagle books. It's been a running joke. It's been a running joke that he keeps writing.
I didn't get that franchise either. It was like, I saw the first one and I go,
it was okay. It was all right.
But then they kept making sequels. And like, it didn't really warrant a sequel. And that's really, I guess, what I'm talking about.
The one thing I'll say in Iron Eagle's defense, the one thing about Iron Eagle in its defense, it was back when, in the 80s, the good old days, when you could like have Muslim terrorists as bad guys, and it was okay. Now it's like, oh, you have a Muslim terrorist. Like, even though in the real world they cause all this damage and destruction, can't put a Muslim terrorist in a movie.
Well, up until like the last 20 years, you could literally just take the globe, throw a dart, and whatever that country was, that would be your villain, and no one would get bent out of shape. You'll just do it as a movie. It's like, it's a fictional version of us. But now you do it, it's like, oh, they got to bring in the UN and everybody else. How dare you? It's like you realize you're getting upset over a movie.
The number one franchise on my list, hands down, that I didn't buy into, that every last other soul on the planet did, and I was left in the dark.
Okay.
Everybody went to the party and I wasn't invited, was the Harry Potter franchise. For the life of me, I still don't know what's good about those movies. I only watched the first 3. I didn't get past the one with... Whichever is the one Gary Oldman shows up in.
Yeah,
that's the last one I saw.
Yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban.
And that's another one could use some goddamn numbers on it, by the way. There's so many of them.
Right.
Could you help somebody out and put numbers on them? Harry Potter 1, 2, 3. Anyway, I totally missed the boat. I didn't get them. They didn't stick with me. You watch them and then you're like, you totally forgot you even watched it. Like literally minutes after it's over. I can't tell you one scene or one line or anything else from the damn things. Harry Potter is supposed to, I'm watching it, and I think the biggest problem is it was based on these books. And I guess in the books, we've talked about this before, books have certain rules and movies have certain rules. Well, they followed the book rules of these movies, I think, instead of movie rules. Like, Harry Potter should be nailing, what's her name?
Hermione.
Hermione, whatever the actress name. I can't think of the actress name.
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson. Harry Potter should be nailing the shit out of Emma Watson. They should be married and fall in love and whatever else. They didn't do that. He goes over that. And another rule they broke. Harry Potter should be the most badass. If he is the one in this chosen figure, he should be like twirling his wand and shit. And like, oh bam, and like just tearing stuff up.
Right.
He doesn't do anything. He never does anything. He literally, in the 3 movies I watched, in those 3 movies, he literally did nothing. Mm-hmm. He barely even dressed himself. And I'm not even exaggerating. He literally does nothing in these movies. Yet he's the one.
Right.
Well, I don't know what their definition of the one is, but it ain't the same as mine. So I missed the boat completely. They made $1 bazillion off of them. And
now there's going to be, a spinoff.
I won't watch them. I never will go back and watch them. Because if I gave you 3 movies, and each one, that's 9 hours of my life, because the damn things are 3 hours apiece.
Yeah. They're not short at all.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know what they're trying to do. It ain't nothing I know how to relate to. Totally, total disconnect with Harry Potter.
Yeah, we've I don't even know where to start on that because I mean, we've talked about this over the years so much. I would say on the issue about Harry and Hermione, I agree 100%. You know that we have some mutual friends and they were really big on Harry Potter and they were always, well, but in the book and and I'm like, it's like on screen. I just know that where she's taking the story with Hermione and Ronald Weasley makes no sense on the big screen. No sense at all.
Yeah.
And I had that argument till I was blue in the face with these friends of ours. And I'll be darned, the 2 years after like the last movie came out, and it was finally done, the Rowling herself comes out and goes, well, on further reflection, if I had to do that over again, I would have changed that. And you're like,
and maybe have Harry Potter do something. That would have been a nice change of pace. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
The idea of having someone who's like 13 and they're the one. I mean, you're already on like really, they're a kid. You're already on a slippery slope. So I understand some of your reservations and hesitations and so forth. I thought they were good, but I didn't think they were like great. But anyway,
they're when you watch them, it's like it's kind of like where I am with the Avengers in the Marvel universe. It's kind of so it's I can only pay you so much money for You know what I mean? At some point, it's like I'm done. I'm not paying you money for If I keep going to a restaurant and keep getting I stop going to that restaurant.
Right.
Is better than horrible.
Yeah.
But doesn't make you leave the house. I can get easily.
Right. I can do better with in my own home.
Yeah. I want to leave the house. I want to be not
Right.
And that didn't give me.
Well, I really do sympathize with that on that one because, and two, there's just so many characters in the Harry Potter world.
Yeah.
If it just kind of like, we're going to actually stay on our 3 main characters, but it doesn't. You got to keep up with this teacher and that teacher and this clan and this. But for someone like you weren't into it, that's a lot they're asking out of you. You're like, I'm kind of wanting to see Harry like start kicking ass.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing any ass get kicked.
It's bad.
Is the ass going to get kicked in the next 5 minutes?
Yeah.
You know, and you have to wait till, you know, the 8th movie, and even then you could question the level of the ass kicking part.
Yeah. All right, what's an
honorable mention?
Yeah, honorable mention.
My honorable mention would be Underworld. I've never been on board with that one. Underworld is that vampire franchise with Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
I just never got into that thing. I thought the first film, they lost me. Where the third act, spoiler alert, they're going after the big bad Dracula or whatever, and he's attacking the. I guess he's a werewolf or something. Anyway, he's got his back to her, so he's like the Dracula's engaged with the werewolf. She like cuts him in half from behind. Now I'm like, you know, I don't remember John Wayne or Clint Eastwood ever shooting the bad guy from behind. I thought it was such a, and I was like, am I supposed to like go yay to that? It was just such an awkward moment. It's like, okay, you killed him, but it was kind of a punk cop out move. I mean, and to me the whole thing was flat. Just the whole story is flat. I didn't think the chemistry of the actors worked at all.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that franchise. I don't get it. And now they're going to make like a 5th one.
Well, see, I in the full sense of disclosure here, I saw the first 2 and then I never watched anymore. And it wasn't because I didn't like them. I thought they were okay, but I think the third one they switched actresses and it tuned me out, and I just never went back to it. I would watch them again and revisit them. I liked them enough that I would revisit them.
Oh.
But okay. I'm not a fan of the franchise. I didn't love the franchise.
Right.
It's almost one of those USA movies you catch on a Saturday. And like if I'm sitting around, I'm just kind of tired, I'm just chilling. I would totally watch them on cable, you know, for free on a Saturday. But am I a huge fan of them? No, not at all. The other franchise that is totally worth mentioning that totally missed me, and keep in mind I'm a 30-something balding white guy, so maybe I'm not supposed to. But Twilight, I know it's geared for a different demographic than me, but I don't. It's so frustrating, a series.
Yeah.
In fact, I watched them almost out of morbid curiosity to see what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because she has got to be the dumbest female heroine of all movie kind. Has to be. Because she so devoutly, unabashedly, soulmate level is in love with the vampire kid. This is her damn soulmate. Yet literally is conflicted with Wolf Boy.
Mm-hmm.
But will tell you in one scene, you are my damn soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one, kiss the other guy. Conversely, Wolf Boy is the most retarded, creepy male protagonist maybe on camera.
Right.
In real life, he's a stalker. He is psychotic. He's icky. A guy that would act like that towards a woman in real life is not any kind of a fantasy or anything to be desired.
Yeah.
You would call the law.
And that ending didn't help anything either on that score.
So he has got to be the creepiest character in film history. So kudos to them for coming up with the most extremes in 2 categories in one film franchise. But they're just not well made. They're kind of trashy made. They're just kind of trashy, loosely made. And another thing they do in them is they don't focus on what I think is interesting. For instance, at the end of the first one, they have a scene where they catch the vampires and they're destroying the vampires. Well, what do they cut to? While they're in the background destroying the vampires, you see a lovey-dovey talk between the chick and vampire boy. And like, you can tell a chick wrote this and a female directed it because a guy would have had a scene showing me them destroy those vampires. But they treat it as a background incidental thing. So I concede I'm not the demographic for it. I get that. I say that up front. But I think they're utter rubbish. I think it's just, I don't know. It's almost like a crime they made that much money. They really pulled the wool over some people's eyes.
Well, there's a lot of that going around these days. These kind of young adult, tilted kind of, like Divergent and.
That's another one I quit on.
Beautiful Creatures.
I couldn't finish the first one. The first movie of that. I couldn't finish it.
The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
All of those were like, The Host, there's another one. I didn't care for any of those. Like, these are really bad. But I mean, if you're, I guess you're 13 and it's meant to be kind of like play to your, I guess your yearning and romance and all that, I guess you get something out of it. I mean, obviously they do, because half the ones I just listed have made money, so.
Well, I am unimpressed. And with that, seems like unimpressed is a good word to end the Incredible Hulk show with. One more honorable mention before we bid adieu?
I had another, yeah. I have...
Film franchise that you can't buy into.
The Rush Hour. They were extremely popular, but I never got that. I never found them funny.
That's because Chris Tucker is like nails on a chalkboard to me.
I thought it was more obnoxious. I didn't get why they were that popular.
If it was Jackie Chan and say Chris Rock, it probably would have had a chance.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
So you immediately brightened up when I said that.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. There's our answer.
All right, we are over time, so until next time, adieu.